What's up, everyone? Welcome to another trade recap. Today, Monday, 11th of August, start of the new week. Let's go through the trades that we had. We had a couple of trades. Some we didn't take, some we did take. We only took one trade today. Some we ended up taking, other ones we didn't end up taking, but setup was still there. So I thought I'd still show you those setups just so you guys can maybe take a screenshot or look over them, or see how you could have caught them. And then it's just going to help you guys in the long run anyway. So the trade that we did take was the US 30. So obviously checking the 4 hourly time frame, we were bullish. It might have looked like it was, like I was saying, a lot of you might have thought this was still bearish, but for me, this was bullish from the moment that we broke above here. So we were wanting for the CR low to be swept. Obviously, 4 hour time frame for the bias, hourly, go for the hourly high, hourly low of the 1 p.m. candle. We then had a 15-minute point of interest right here, which we were waiting for it to get tapped into. We also marked the 15-minute high and low right there. And then obviously for the entry, dropping down into the 1 minute time frame, our entry was right here. Some of you guys did take it, some of you guys didn't. Remember, the market is not always going to be perfect, so it's not always going to hit the order block. It's not always going to hit the lower FVG. Um, as soon as it comes close, I like to take it. Even if that means I might miss out on 1% or 2%, it's absolutely fine because as you guys know, I don't go for anything below 1 to 3. The 1 to 3 was pretty much a small move for US 30, so decided to go with this one. There was an inverted FVG right here. There was this order block right here. And then obviously as it came close, halfway through the inverted, could have taken it right here. Stop loss just at the low. And then obviously the TP, a lot of you guys might be thinking that's a bit of a random TP. The reason why the TP is there is because from the original entry, okay, from the original entry, the TP was a 5%. So because we didn't want to kind of be greedy and kind of push the trade more than it should be, we decided to keep the same TP, but obviously with a higher entry, which resulted in us gaining a 1 to 3. Now, it done more than a 1 to 3, yes, but you can see that if you would have tried to go for a 1 to 5, you would have either hit break even, which most likely you would have, or you would have lost the trade. So you guys can see that the best choice was to just keep this one and not be greedy. So we ended up catching this 1 to 3. Okay, that was US 30. And obviously, this is the afternoon CRT. I'll go through the morning one, which there was only one trade anyway. Um, Another setup that there was gold. Okay, as we check the 4 hourly time frame for gold, I believe we were bearish. As you can see here, very clear bearish. Broke beneath this low. We were bearish. We had this 4 hour FVG, which we didn't tap, but we had another FVG. On the hourly, obviously hourly high, hourly low. Um, Dropping down into the 15-minute. As you can see, we've got a 15-minute FVG, obviously 15-minute high, 15-minute low. As you can see here, again, it doesn't matter if on the 1 minute time frame, the market goes above the FVG. You always have to pay attention to what time frame is this FVG on. If it's the 1 hour time frame, then obviously keep checking the 1 hour to see if it's respecting it. As you can see here, this 15-minute candle, although we went all the way up here, the body of the candle still respected this FVG. Okay. So obviously you could have seen this and be like, okay, it's respecting the FVG. Dropping down into a 1 minute time frame, there was better entries than this. Okay, there was better entries. I'll mark them out now. The better entry was obviously this one, order block entry. And then obviously you had also a fair value gap right here. Order block entry was a bit too good to be true because again, it would have been a very tight stop loss. You would need the market to tap and completely run away. So obviously it didn't tap this. It didn't tap the FVG. What it did tap was this breaker block right here. What is a breaker block? A breaker block is a failed order block. Okay, so obviously we came down, we went all the way back up. This is the order block. You can see that the market ended up disrespecting the order block, turning this into a breaker block. You can see we're rejected here one time. You would have waited for a better push. You either would have entered here or you would have entered here. As you can see, the market tapped it exactly. Stop loss at the high, and then obviously your TP at the CR low, which would have given you a 1 to 4. And it was pretty smooth. After hitting entry, you came down here, ended up having a small retracement, As soon as you broke beneath this low, you'll break even. And then it was just smooth price action towards your TP, which you would have gained a 4%. Okay, so 3% on the US 30, 4% on gold. That's already 7% gain. Okay. There was also another trade on Bitcoin. I don't know if you guys do check Bitcoin, but I will show you what happened on Bitcoin as well. Okay, it wasn't on here. Um, let me find it. I saved it. I don't know why it's not here saved. All right, here, boom, should be here. Yeah. So obviously 4 hour time frame bullish. Okay. So again, we're wanting the CR low to be swept. On the hourly, 1 p.m. high, 1 p.m. low. Dropping down one extra time frame, you can see that there's this 30-minute untapped gap on Bitcoin. So that's our point of interest. On the 50-minute time frame, again, the 50-minute didn't end up getting swept, but remember, you don't need the 50-minute to be swept. Some people they do want it for extra confluence, but just so you lot know, you don't need it, especially when you get a setup as good as this, where you got the hourly low being swept, you've got a higher time frame point of interest, you can feel free to take the trade. Okay. So going down into the 1 minute, this is pretty much a textbook entry. All right. Um, we had the order block here. Again, the order block was this one here, but it's the same level here. That's why I just marked it here because it's pretty much the same level. But order block right here, as you can see, it climbed. You still wouldn't have entered because for me, this is a bit premature to enter, a bit early to enter. I like to see a bit more of a confirmation that we're actually deciding to reverse. You would have waited. You would have waited. As soon as you saw this, then you would have started to think about entering as soon as it came back down, tapping the order block. That's your entry, your stop loss at the low. And then this one, your TP, you've managed to get a 1 to 5. So if you count this one plus the US 30 and the gold, that's pretty much 12% gain. Okay. And those were the PM trades. Okay. Now there was AM trades for euro. Okay, and I'm going to show you the trades that happened. So with euro, obviously 4 hour time frame. In the morning, we were bullish. Obviously, it turned bearish, I think, in the afternoon. Yep. But in the morning, we were still bullish because we didn't break beneath this low. We didn't break beneath this low. And then obviously, this is the morning CRT up here. So we were still bullish. We were still looking to buy. On the hourly time frame, marked out 7 a.m. high, 7 a.m. low. There was also a hourly FVG right here. You can also check the 30-minute. There was also a 30-minute FVG sitting right here. But no need to mark that out because it's inside the hourly anyway. Obviously, 15-minute high and low as well, right here, boom, boom. And then the initial entry would have lost, okay? The initial entry would have lost right here. This was your initial entry. This is pretty much a very good move. And then your entry could have been either the order block or the FVG just below it, okay? Either this order block or this very small FVG right here. That could have been your entry, but as you can see, you would have lost the trade. No problem. All right. Now, I know that there's a lot of you that took this second re-entry right here. Now, the reason why I wouldn't take this one is for me, this is not a good enough push. So if you compare this move to this move, you can clearly see that this is way more bullish momentum compared to this one. This one is just two bullish candles followed by rejection. So for me, I would have taken this one, would have taken a loss. I then would have seen this, but I would have waited because I can also see that we're rejecting this bearish FBG and I didn't have the good enough push. And remember, with CRT, the main thing is patience, okay? So I would have waited. I wouldn't have taken this one. I then would have taken this one though. All right. Now this one, you can clearly see the difference between this push and this push. Here, as you can see, we were so bullish that price was jumping. Okay, price was jumping, completely disrespected this bearish FVG, becoming inverted. You then had this order block sitting right down here, and you also had this 1 minute FVG. You had back-to-back FVGs as well. Now, some of you were waiting for the order block entry. Some of you were waiting for the 1 minute FVG entry. As you can see, the market didn't come down into that. If you just check the 3 minute, all right, if you just would have checked the 3 minute, you can see that there was a 3 minute order block, and you can see the market ended up pretty much tapping into that order block perfectly. And again, the reason why it's sitting at a 1 to 2 is because I know that a lot of you took a loss here, you took another loss here. So this one would have just been the break-even trade for you to make your money back. Remember, always prioritize making your money back before you even try and make something on top. So that's why this TP is at a 1 to 2 and nothing more and nothing less. Okay? So that's the breakdown for the euro trade. And those were pretty much the only trades that we had today. We had euro in the morning, we had gold, we had US 30, and we had Bitcoin in the afternoon. Again, I don't know if you guys do look at Bitcoin during the week. Normally I look at it in the weekend, but during the week it does work also. I like to do it in the PM. Only in the morning I like to do gold, euro, and GBP, but in the PM I like to do all of them: gold, euro, GBP, NAS, US 30, and if I've got time, I'll look at Bitcoin. But that's pretty much the breakdown for the trades that you could have taken today and the trades that we did take today. All right. So again, like always, any questions on any of the trades from today, just message me on the VIP and we'll get those questions answered. So other than that, you'll enjoy your evening.